Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. This is going to be my palettes revisited for September. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. For those people who might be new here, hi, my name is Micah. I do this once a month where I select older eyeshadow palettes in my makeup collection and do some looks with it. Sometimes I'll go back to the favorite looks that I've done with these palettes before, and sometimes, like today, I challenge myself to try and create something new that I haven't done before. I've got 10 here. Normally I try to do 5, but I didn't manage to film this video in August because I was ill, so I decided to roll the August palettes into September, so that's why I have a little bit more to chat to you about. So for August, these were the 5 palettes that I wanted to go back to. All of them had a little bit of warmth to them because over the summertime and already earlier in the year, I really rekindled my love for warm tone shadows. And rather than buying loads of new things, I only bought 2 warm tone things this year so far to sort of dip my toe into that warm toneness. But these were things that are already in my collection, and I just love going back to things like this because I have a vast eyeshadow palette collection to begin with, and some of these I hadn't used in a while. Case in point, the first palette that is here today, this is the Vintage Soul, and the Vintage Soul is by Catrice. This is one of their Pro Slim palettes. This is one of the older styles. They have revamped this line completely to now have a clear window, but I like this style better. And here is what that color story looks like. To me, this is one of the best ones they've done to date with this color story. It's just really, really unique. I don't have anything else like it in my collection. It has gray tones, it has pinky tones, and then it has these lovely, almost like burgundy tones. And that's the look that I did here. I love playing with this because you can do a fully cool tone look with this, but you can bring in some of those burgundy maroon shades to add that pop of something like fall, like summer transitioning into fall, and I thought it was perfect for it. And this has confirmed for me yet again that this is definitely one of the more unique ones in my collection. Now the look itself, I feel, doesn't look super unique that you get with this, but because I think I have like rosy tones like this, especially the look I did here, I think if I were to use my ABH Soft Glam, I could create the same look because it has similar tones in. But the difference between this palette and the Soft Glam is that the Soft Glam has a lot of warm tones in, whereas this has a lot of neutrally cool tones in. For instance, these two here and also this gray tone. So I feel the balance of how the look comes fully together is different here, and I appreciate this palette for that reason so much. By the way, if you can hear anything, my dishwasher is on, so there may be a bit of background noise in this video right now. The next palette I tried that was still in my August revisited is this little Zoeva guy. This is the Precious palette, and this to me is very sort of 2018 on trend. I love these 2 shades though, so that's the look I did. This was super quick and easy. I tend to ignore this, but can you see that sort of like purpley mauve tone that it has? Really pretty. It is overall a little bit more warm toned. Again, how unique is this compared to everything else? I definitely think I have singles like this in my singles collection, but in terms of palettes, I don't really have these shades. But now that I've used it again, I'm like, should I just pull these 2 shades from the palette and like chuck the rest and put it with my singles collection? Or should I keep it as is? Because it's really small and dinky. I really like this. I love the Zoeva formula. I think they are a very underrated brand because people don't tend to try the things that are actually good by them. Is their eyeshadow super exciting in terms of color stories? No, but their formula is definitely one of the best ones on the market. Another palette I was dying to go back to is the Essence Welcome to Cape Town. This was released, I think, about a year ago by Essence, and this color story blew me away. I had tried other palettes in this lineup, but none of them were quite right or exciting because they were all like, yeah, I've tried palettes in the past that do that for me kind of thing. Until I tried this. We get warmth, we get neutrals, we get greens, and we get teals. Everything works together. The front of the packaging is the shades we get in the palette, another bonus point, and the quality of this for, I think it goes for like $5.99 or $6.99 here in Europe. It is amazing. You may have to dig around to try and find it though, because this is becoming harder to find. I can still link it on Notino, so if you have access to Notino, that may be a place to look for this because they still do it on there. And one that was, again, a little bit more surprising to me because the Tartelette Juicy was in my August Palettes Revisited video, and I remember when I first played with it, when I first got it, I was like, oh, this is too warm toned. I don't love it. But for me, there's just something about the mixture of the warm tones with the pinky tones that this has that really draws me in. That's what like draws my eye to this palette. In the past, I was really raving about this neutral row, but this time around, I did a look with these warm tones and these pinky tones. And now that my heart is more like, I'm like, yeah, a warm tone can work for me. And I felt really, really pretty when I wore this. So this just goes to show that your tastes can change and that, you know, depending on where you're at in life at that moment, things can just work for you so much better than you had expected. At least this always happens to me. This is why I keep makeup around for quite a long time, because even though it may not be something that I feel really comfortable wearing at the minute, maybe a couple of years later I might, and this is definitely the case for the Tartelette Juicy. I really enjoyed the look. Where I felt at first it was giving me pink eye, I now felt, especially because it was like summertime when I was wearing it, it really, really went with the season and the way things just overall came together, wearing my hair down or up, or like the type of outfits I like to wear. I think the palette worked a lot better, and I don't remember exactly what season it was when I first reviewed it, but I think that if I keep this in my collection as like a good summer palette, I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of it. And then one that I love for like summer transitioning into fall, I already knew it, but because it is a favorite for that reason, I knew I had to go back to the Venus XL by Lime Crime. I know the Lime Crime palettes aren't talked about much. This has never been discontinued as far as I know. I can still link it for you if you want to, because this is the ultimate berry palette. I have decluttered a lot of my berry tone palettes, including something like the Modern Renaissance, because I own this. This is the Modern Renaissance on steroids. It gives you the shades from the Modern Renaissance if you want those like pinky berry tones it has, not if you want the neutrals. The neutrals were never my favorite part of the Modern Renaissance. This was. This like bright pink is very similar to Love Letter in there. You get some shades that could like be similar to Venetian, what's it called? Venetian Red, I think it was called. Like these kind of shades here off to the side can really work for that. This bright neon adds a fun pop of color. And I normally go for like this really dark Botticelli shade. That's one of my favorites in the palette. But I decided to go a different route with this, and I went with some of the warm tones it offers. So that was different for me. I believe that this is the one that I put all over the lid, if I remember correctly. But it's been a few weeks since I first did these looks, but you will have seen the images of these looks popping up on the screen as I was talking about each one, because that's how I like to do these. I like to go back to them and create another look and show you the look that I did. Which brings me to the 5 palettes I played with for September. And one of these is on my lids today. So if you were wondering, I just did these the past week. So for me, it's easier to recall what I exactly did. I definitely wanted to throw in some like fall-ish palettes because I knew that I would probably be trying these out at the end of September. So I knew it would probably be fall. And if you're thinking, Micah, the video looks a little bit murky, that's because today is a proper fall day. There's a storm going on outside. So that's why the lighting is a little bit darker than you're used to with me. But hey, we're heading into fall and winter, so filming with natural lighting, which I like to do, is becoming a little bit more challenging. However, back to the palettes. The Tartelette in Bloom is one I enjoy so much. I still think till this day that this palette is one of the best beginner palettes if you're first getting into makeup. You get warm tones, you get neutrals, you get cool tones. It is more neutral than truly cool or truly warm tone though. Now that I've tried it again, I'm like, yeah, I can see why for some people who have a true cool undertone, this can be perhaps a little bit challenging to make it look good on you. And if you're super warm, this is probably not going to be warm enough. However, for me, like I kind of fall smack in the middle. I have more of a pinky tone in my skin, making me a little bit more cool tone, but I can get away with a lot because of like my hair color and my eye color and the way everything comes together. And that's why I can definitely wear something like this. I love the shade Firecracker, so that's the one that's all over my lid. I think I used some of the warm tones this time round to sort of start the look and set it up. I normally go for like these two at the top, but I decided to go more so this route and using this in the inner corner. And I just love that each one of these rows is a look if you want to. So super easy to use, really nice, easy blendable formula. Mine is ancient and it's still good. It's still going strong. I will probably be going back to this in a couple of months because this is a palette I want to keep on rotation because I love it so much. If I ever were to do like a pan that palette kind of thing, I won't because I have way too many, and I tried doing it last year and then I just forgot that I had a pan that palette. But I know I won't manage that, but if I were to do a pan that palette, it would probably be with this one. Another great neutral, but because it has those like murky undertones, I thought the Viseart Charmeuse would be great for end of September looks, and I wasn't wrong. This is really, really pretty, but my gripe with the two newer palettes that I picked up towards the end of 2023, which was this one and the Vespertine, is that they're very mid-tone heavy. There isn't a lot of contrast, and for me, everything just looks pretty smoky. Does it work? For sure. I ended up using this really pretty duochrome. I'm not sure if you can see. It looks like a boring brown, like purpley shade in the pan, but it is a brown with like a reddish pink magenta shift that is really subtle, but it's really pretty once it goes onto the eyes. So I was just so pleased with that. I think what I ended up doing is using this in the crease, this all over the lid, popping that into the inner corner, and probably a little bit of the dark brown as liner. It was a really easy, simple look to but I feel great whenever I wear Viseart eyeshadow. So because I wasn't super hyped for these when I first tried them, I was like, yeah, I may have to go back to them to see if I like them more. These are just really solid palettes. I think Viseart can do no wrong because their formula is just so amazing that you're always going to get a good look no matter what you do, no matter your makeup capability. Viseart is pretty much foolproof, just like Tarte is, I feel. So for me, this was very successful, but this color story isn't the most exciting thing that I personally have from Viseart, but it was good to go back to it, and I think it's very fall appropriate. Speaking of fall appropriate palettes, the Juvia's Place, the Nomad. This is one of my favorite palettes for fall. And I was like, okay, if I have to select something for September and I want to get some use out of it this fall, I have to do this. And there are a couple of standard shades I use all the time. I kind of ignore these. I think I did use a bit of the beige because it's great for like shearing things out and blending things. But these four shades and then the shimmer in the middle, Chef's Kiss. Crease shade, something to deepen it up with, an inner corner highlight / lid shade, and something to use as liner. It just works seamlessly every single time. It's grungy, it's murky, it's yummy. It is one of the best shades for the fall time. I have a bunch of these greens with yellow kind of palettes. The Mel Gemini, I have another one coming up just next up. And I did purchase the new Precious one when it came to Monolith the other day. So that package is still coming. So yeah, when you see, not the next haul you see, because I don't think the package will be in on time for me to film my haul for September, for October, I should say. But yeah, November time, you'll see what I picked up from Monolith in the last restock that they did. And then we have this guy from Glam Shop. This is the Nice Weeds palette, and this is so, so pretty. This time round though, because the first time I used it last year when it came out, I also roped in some of these yellow tones, and I do really like this duochrome shade it has. It's really pretty. It's like a really murky green with a gold shift, but I set up the look using this shade, and then I use this, and then I just use some of these green tones here and popping this in the inner corner, and it worked really, really well. Glam Shop has, again, one of my favorite formulas from an indie brand. They are Polish, so if you're in the EU, they can be a little bit easier to get than some of the very hyped up US-based indie brands. But yeah, I think this formula is amazing. It gives me a similar vibe to what the Nomad has to offer, and that's why I wanted to go back to it, but I still love this till this day, and it is one of my favorite palettes from Glam Shop as well. I think the color story is really great. And as I just mentioned, I love these like murky greens with yellows in the fall time. Finally, what's on my eyes today? is the Pat McGrath Mothership 1 Subliminal. And this one, I decided to do a different look than I normally do. I did go in with the 2 cool tones that are in this side for sure, but where I normally would like set it up with this and then like pick one of these shimmers to use all over the lid, or maybe use this in the crease. You know, I've done different renditions of this, but I decided to use this all over the lid to create more of a smoky base. And then I layered this on top. And I think this is the best look I've ever done with this palette. I love it. The duochrome of that special shade is really shining through. The Subliminal 1, or Mothership 1 Subliminal, I should say, is one of my favorite cool tone palettes that I have in my collection. And normally I would put the blue on the lower lash line, but I decided to mimic the top. So I decided to go for this shade here and a little bit of this, and then I just popped this in the inner corner. Really great. This palette is so incredibly versatile that I just love it. If you get just one Mothership and you're looking for a good cool tone palette, but that has pops of color and is definitely not boring, try the Mothership, because I think it's just one of the best palettes in my collection for an obvious reason. I actually put it in my top 3 favorite palettes when I talked about eye products about a week ago. So for me, this palette is amazing. It's still that really rich, creamy, blendable formula that I love. The Pat McGrath Eyeshadow Palette Formula 4. And for me, this was a very successful one. So I think there were a couple of palettes in the August overview, like the Zoeva, and possibly also the Catrice one, where I'm like, yeah, those are looks I probably could create with other palettes or other things in my collection already. But the rest of it, I was just, again, so much in love with these. I just love going back to the things that I have in my collection that I know I love, and I just want to get more use out of them. So let me know in a comment down below if there's any eyeshadow palettes you used again that weren't like brand new to you, because I would love to know as inspiration for my own video series. I will be back with this video again next month, and I will be showing you which palettes I have selected in my Shop My Stash, which should go live on Tuesday. So I hope you'd like to stay tuned for that, and then hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!